I don't have a massive issue with it at all. And we've sort of, I think maybe we disagree slightly on this.
Well, from there, I think Erik Ten Hag is very much in the wrong.
Erik Ten Hag was asked a question: why is Scott McTominay and Jadon Sancho not in the squad? McTominay's ill. Jadon Sancho hasn't trained well enough this week to be in the squad. I don't see that as a problem. It's not having to go at him personally. If he's not putting the work in training, he's not putting the work in. End of story.
Why does Jadon Sancho disagree?
Well, maybe he's got a slightly overinflated ego and thinks he's better than he is.
Why are you instantly taking the side of the manager?
He's the manager.
And?
He's the manager.
This is a manager who's had...
It's irrelevant.
He's had issues with Ronaldo.
Doesn't matter.
He's had issues with Maguire.
It's irrelevant.
Why is it irrelevant?
Because he's the manager.
He should be under scrutiny, shouldn't he?
No, because he's the manager.
Of course he's under scrutiny. He's Manchester United manager.
But if Sancho's not pulling his weight in training, not doing what he's asked...
According to Ten Hag.
Well, simple as that. If your boss here says, Adrian, I want you to do this in the show, and you don't do it, you're done. Simple as that. Whether you like it or not, you do as you're told. If you work in a kitchen and you're working as a top chef and you're a sous chef, whatever, you do what the boss tells you. That's it. That's called hierarchy. He's the manager for a reason. So if Sancho's not doing what the manager wants him to do, tough.
Okay, let's step back from this for a second. Manchester United's, okay, you could say they improved last season. There's no question about that. They improved. They're still not where they want to be. They took some beatings. I'm not totally convinced by this manager. Remember, this is the guy who completely blew a lead that he couldn't blow for Ajax against, of all teams, Spurs. Okay, so I think
all managers have done that at some point.
I think he's still got that level. They were 3-0 up halfway through the second half of the second leg.
Pep had some disasters in the Champions League.
Yeah, well,
some massive disasters in the Champions League. He has won it a few
times as well.
Well, but how long did it take him to win it with City? He won it with the greatest set of individials and team on the planet.
Are we really going down the road of comparing Erik Ten Hag and Pep Guardiola?
No, but what I'm going to say, you
want to go there?
You can't just go one game. He lost to Spurs.
I'm just saying he gets the Man United job on the back of creating a very exciting Ajax side, absolutely. But I did wonder if those credentials were enough. So we'll give him a chance and say how it is. He's improved Manchester United last season from where they were before. Pretty low starting point, but he absolutely did the job, got them back in the Champions League, won them a cup. All positives. They took a hell of a beating from Liverpool. Their away record wasn't particularly great generally. And this season it hasn't started well. They're not playing well. Even at home they're not playing well, despite the fact they've won both. Away from home, it's been nothing short of a disaster. So I'm looking at that thinking you've got a lot more problems than somebody who you are prepared to go public and say isn't training very well, and instantly they say, hang on a minute, that's not true. Why are you creating this war with one of your players when surely there's a better way of motivating him? What I would say is Sancho...
Because he will have tried several times. Sancho's not been in team all season.
He's not been good since he got there, basically.
Right, so he's not been in the team all season.
Yeah.
He struggled since the break for the last World Cup. Mm-hmm. Obviously went away and did a bit of training on his own, whether that was for mental health issues or whether that was physical issues, whatever it was. He went away on his own and he came back, did okay for a little bit. But he's not performing. So that's on him. So the manager's looking at it going, I've got an incredibly talented player, an absolute abundance of talent, but he's not doing what I want him to do. He's not putting the work in. Therefore, I can't trust him. I can't put him on that pitch because I'm asking him to do something and he's not doing it in training.
Let me ask you a quick question, right? Bearing in mind what we saw with Dele Alli a few weeks ago, which took a lot of people by surprise, should a manager of a club the size of Man United be coming out publicly? And yes, he was asked a question, but he could give any answer he wants. Should he be publicly castigating a player who has then received a torrent of criticism? There's football writers who have gone public and said, oh, yeah, he needs to get his act together. It's about time Sancho did this, that and the other. All off the back of Erik Ten Hag saying that one thing in a press conference that Jadon Sancho has disagreed with.
But that's not anything they haven't been saying already. He's been getting plenty of stick so far. You know, why is he not up to? Why is he not playing? Why is he not doing this? Why is he not in the team? Why is he not performing? Every time he plays, he gets hammered from the media.
Who has been performing for Man United?
Well, but that's irrelevant. We're talking about Jadon.
It's not really, is it?
Talking about Jadon Sancho. The manager was asked why he's not playing. He's not in the squad this week because he hasn't trained well enough.
I look at some of the other players.
Personally, if a manager said that about me, I wouldn't have an issue with it. I'd go, you know what? Okay, I haven't trained hard enough. I need to train harder. End of. It's not. He's not questioned his ability. I think he's questioned his attitude. And if his attitude's not right, he can put that right. Click his fingers and he can change his attitude. Being motivated, we can all be motivated when things are going great. Being dedicated is completely different. And that's working hard, day in, day out. When you're not in the team, you have to work even harder to get into it. And he's clearly not doing that, in my opinion.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.